That's right.
Welcome to the PanelCast. I'm your host, AJ, and this week we have this guy. What was your name again?
You can pick one.
All right, Pedro.
Sounds great.
Pepe. I'll name you after my hemorrhoid.
Sweet.
What's up, Pepe? This is Joel Katz, and I'm AJ. Welcome to the PanelCast. And in this episode, we're going to be doing all kinds of weird stuff. We're going to combine the side panel episode where we do an unboxing with our PanelCast, because we're going to review some movies as well as some one of the movies that we saw this week. So without any ado, let's get to it. Well, actually, the movie we're going to watch, I should tell you guys so that if you want to say no. The movie we're going to review is the new Predator, Killer of Killers. Both of us watched it, and then we're going to watch some trailers and talk about that. So let's go ahead and get started. Here is the trailer for Predator, Killer of Killers, which we both saw this week.
My son, tell me why we fight.
Because our enemy still lives.
You all have traveled far and missed the warmth of home. But tonight, think of only one thing. Killing the monster.
You're not hearing me. There's something else up in the sky. And it's not human.
I pray you bloody your spear tonight. You are ready now. There's only one way to kill it. We must fight together.
Here we go. What happens if we survive?
And there you have it. That was the Predator, Killer of Killers trailer. We got to watch it this week. Unfortunately, we didn't get to watch it together, which I think this was definitely a movie you want to watch with somebody.
Oh, yeah.
Because, yeah. So why don't we go ahead and give a quick review. Joel, what did you think about it?
Well, first off, just watching the trailer, because I didn't see the trailer. I had heard that there was something coming out, but I didn't really look for anything. So when I saw it, it was based purely on good friends telling me to watch it. That was enough for me. And so I didn't see a trailer and went into it.
You had told me that day that you had gotten like 3 other people telling you that you needed to watch it.
Completely unrelated people said, hey, I don't know what you're doing, but you need to stop doing that and watch this. And again, I have great friends. Sometimes we have different opinions, but the people that told me, we pretty much agree all the time. And they also said, you're driving, pull over. You can watch it right now in the parking lot by yourself. But rewatching these scenes in the trailer made me just want to immediately watch it again, because the first time I got to do the watch through and I'm just sitting on the edge of my seat, kind of white knuckle at what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
But a second time, I would get to sit and appreciate what it is to look at what they did.
Right.
And there's going to be things in me you didn't see the first time.
Right. I loved every second of it. I thought anytime I hit pause, I could have screen captured that
Oh, yeah.
image. Because every image, every scene in there, every cell was beautiful. It was like gorgeous. The cinematography behind it, the art behind it, even the coloring and the tones and the way that they used it, the muted, and oh man, everything about it was just gorgeous. And then you get into like the physics of the movements of the characters and
Yeah.
the dynamics that they have with the weaponry and everything that they have on them. And that's even before you get into like the story.
Yeah.
And how just in depth the story was and how well written the story was so well written and the characters was so well fleshed out that I knew everything I needed to know just from the story, just from watching this alone. Like I don't need to
And
know
with
anything
not
else
even
about
that
them.
much talking necessarily.
Right.
Something that can pull all these details together for you simply, like you said, by what's going on and just enough language.
That you got it.
And
You
Yeah.
got it. It was all, I mean,
Mhm.
there was a couple times where you're like, I wonder what's going on here.
Mm.
And then by the end, you're like, got it.
And the only reason
Thank
you
you.
didn't know is because they didn't need you to know or didn't want you to know until you realized at the right time. I mean,
Which one? So, Predator Killers, if you haven't seen it yet, just so you know, we're going to get a little spoiler heavy with
sorry,
because we got to.
we can't talk
But-
about it and not talk about it.
Right. But before we get too far, props for tomorrow will be Friday the 13th. So I'm wearing my Jason shirt. Preferably when you're watching this, it will be Friday the 13th. So
Mhm.
hope you're enjoying your holiday by killing a lot of random teenagers sleeping in a camp somewhere.
Yeah, and everybody says go camping.
Right. The weather is perfect for it.
Yeah, wonderful.
Yeah. Just, yeah. So Predator Killers is comprised of 3 different stories. They were entitled The Sword, The Shield, and I can't remember, The Sky.
The bullet.
The Bullet, that's right, was the 3rd one.
Mhm.
And each one was an individual story talking about an individual hero. And those heroes go on to defeat, or it tells the story of those heroes and how they came to come across their version of a predator in their timeline
Mhm.
and how their timelines interact with one another.
Yeah, and I think they were slick about it. Sorry, I know that there's going to be questions because I think any questions you have were specifically laid out because you want to know more. But as far as what you need, like AJ said, all the details you need are there. They give them to you exactly
Right.
when they want you to have them, and that I feel good when I watch something where I can tell that the people who made it are guiding me through something. They didn't just give me something to watch. They know exactly when to drop things because they know what's going to happen to me. They know
Right.
they're pulling me through this, and it felt that way with every inch of that.
There were a couple, well, there were a whole lot of oh shit moments. But,
Yeah. Yeah.
it would be hard to name a few, but what was your favorite story?
I'm gonna go ahead and say I can't choose a favorite because here's why. Each of the time periods and like settings they chose are settings that I enjoy pretty much all the time. Like if you tell a story and you tell it in one of those 3 places, I'm gonna be like, yeah,
Right.
okay. So they automatically pick places that I love, which I think are great for storytelling and for the aesthetic. I think that they were slick about choosing a very different set of people to follow.
Absolutely.
And without me,
No, you can get to it. We're spoiling everything, everybody.
so even though 2 of the characters specifically use hand weapons and one of them doesn't, he's a pilot mechanic, the character that he is, I think that our hands are amazing, but this is really the only thing that's going to allow you to beat a predator.
You can't use your
Yeah.
hands unless you tell your hands what to do.
And a predator has better weapons. It's faster. It's bigger. It does all this. It's all it does. It's 40-hour-a-week job. All right, you can go kill.
Yeah.
And then you don't know it's coming, but yet that's how these people pull through, and you get to see how their intelligence, also they're freaking crazy. I think all three of them are a certain level of
All
crazy.
three of them were nuts beyond belief.
Yeah, these are not people that had a good, easy time or were, in the lives they had before the predators came. I can't pick a favorite story because I think they complemented each other, kind of like Ninja Turtles do. I can't. You say, well, pick your favorite or pull one away. I'm like, no, I can't have three turtles. It's all
Right.
four, So, and I guess that's why the last Ronin kind of is so amazing. Because anyway, going back. So to pick a favorite, I can't do it. I like all the aesthetics. There was a few times when I saw a couple things that made me feel like, oh, that's just a little too impossible. But then while I was watching it, I'm like, you must love it, because I'm like, I will tell you,
who cares?
there was one time when, the third story, the guy's out on the wing of the plane. Don't get me wrong, the physics of that, so kind of no way. But at the same time,
But an alien flying ship makes sense.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. When you're suddenly trying to pull like details like that on us,
Right.
when you're already dealing with fantasy, and really, as I was
You're like,
watching it,
do you understand the G's he was pulling while he was on that wing? Dude, there was a fucking alien.
Yeah.
Okay. Like,
yeah,
there's no such thing as G's in that environment. Like,
and
who cares?
yeah, and so, but also in hindsight, even now looking at it, it was amazing, because I mean, it was, like you said, crazy excitement the whole freaking time. If you tried to do something else, first off, that would have been silly while you were watching it, but I really couldn't do anything else. I was in it.
How?
Any breath they gave you was brief and tension. It was just a break from the onslaught, but it was still tension. So, and they all come together. You can't have the ending of it without all three of them.
I was mildly offended at first when the end of the first story happened, and you were given the impression that they were like reliving a memory, or in a facsimile, or in a
Okay.
AI generated environment.
Yeah.
Having this thing.
Yeah.
Because I had written a story and published it in a comic book where I had alien prisoners seeing therapy via this type of thing. And so I thought that it felt like a ripoff, But then I came to understand that it wasn't. It was just a flashback of how I got there.
Yeah.
And by that point, I didn't give a shit anymore.
Yeah.
I was so much loving it. But I have to say, the one thing that I really loved about this movie, the one thing that sealed it for me, I guaranteed I was going to love it, was the respect and the homage they paid to all the other Predator movies.
Yeah.
Okay. The pistol.
Yep.
The history of that pistol, it has traversed so far 3 films that we've seen.
It's the only thing that is, I think it's the only thing that's seen multiple times in that.
It's one of the only things that I've seen.
Well, okay.
The second thing that was seen was the girl from Prey.
Okay.
In her coffin in the spaceship as they were flying away.
Yeah.
Like she was going to be in another tournament like these 3 were.
Yeah.
So that's 2 things
that
were tied together.
Yeah, you're right. But that go way back. She only goes back to Prey. The pistol goes back all the way to Predator 2, right?
Right. But chronologically, time-wise, she goes way back before all the Predator movies.
Oh, yeah.
Because she's from that era, the Western era.
Now, what's tough is, I'm trying to think, the Nordic gal in the first story, they said what time that was? That was like, when was that? Like 16?
Well, obviously during the Viking era.
Yeah, I know, but I don't know exactly what. Anyway, and pulling reality in. So one of the things I thought was hard is they did so much in this that, everybody wants to make real life movies out of animation.
Right.
I don't think they're going to do that to this. I think they did exactly what they wanted to do. Don't get me wrong. That whole thing, if they had pulled it off in real life, would have been cool. But honestly, the things they got away with that you could only do in animation.
Right. And there's been a lot of complaints about that online, is where, oh my God, this would have been so much better in real life.
No.
In live action. No, it wouldn't have. It would have been so fake that you wouldn't have been able to. I'm sorry, there was a message for me and I had to answer it. It would have been so fake that you wouldn't have appreciated the movie as much as you did.
And I think there's a thing, as being an artist myself, is that when you're watching something that's supposed to look real and special effects and all that stuff, it's still supposed to create realism. A lot of times when you watch something, it's for the art of it. And when I watch an animated thing, I like the style that the person gave us.
Yeah, especially the art style and everything.
Yeah, people look like people, but it's stylistically
Right.
There's something there. Even each of the Predators it's definitely Predators, but you got to see them in a different way. That, like you said, you could freeze frame it, you could make a poster of it. There's like a million tattoo options.
Right.
If you're a person that likes to freeze frame movies like I do occasionally and just stop it and just sit there and try to draw what I'm looking at, because I've never seen a poster of that scene.
The scene that I screenshotted and posted that says "Killer Killers" for our advertisement. I want that as a framed photo in my house somewhere. It's such a beautiful photo where he's just sitting on top of the tower, with all of feudal Japan behind him and he's just a silhouette with the spear and the one red eye. Oh my God, it's beautiful. And I want that but I'm Korean, so I'm not allowed to have it in the house. Well, you know what? I can give it to my sister. She married a Japanese dude, so it's okay. I can get him a wall scroll, and it'll be all right. And so when I go visit, I can see it every time. Be like, yeah, that's right, Predator.
Human beings, we only survive because of loopholes.
Right.
That's it.
But I can't say enough great things about this, and the way they tied it to all the other Predators just made it even better. And the way they hinted at a sequel. I was just in love. Now I'm excited for Badlands even more.
Yeah.
I can't wait till that comes out. Aliens Earth starts in a week and a half. I'm super amped for that to come out. We're just surrounded by a bunch of awesome stuff that's coming out right now. It's the summer. And if you needed a reason to stay in and watch the movies, well, just look outside and see what's happening. And now you have something to do while you're sitting at home.
When they're trying to, like, these franchises have been around. I mean, I'm trying to think. So Aliens would have predated Predator by a few years, right?
77 and 82.
Yeah. So the fact that they're still going and that there's people still making good content, and not just good content,
Sorry,
but like
79. My bad.
Yeah, and if you, for the folks that haven't seen this, that we didn't totally spoil it for you, I'm just going to tell you that the way that they intelligently expanded the Predator universe by the end of this gives them, I think, a very feasible open end to do whatever they want. It's not going to be busting up the story. It's not going. They really gave themselves a good point.
And tell me that the pilot Predator didn't look like Kano.
I mean, the more I watch behind the scenes of any of my favorite movies, the people that are making this stuff, they all like stuff. And whether they know
There was Mortal Kombat love in that.
Whether they do it on purpose or whether they do it on accident just because they're things they love, I think when you do stuff and you love stuff, it's going to kind of come out. So I wouldn't be shocked at all if that's what was going on. And in hindsight, when I watch it again, I'm going to be looking for anything I can see.
Yeah.
And there's going to be stuff in there. So
which of the three outjobs did you like the most? I asked a hard question.
Again, I'm not trying to cop out, but the same issue I had choosing a hero out of the three. It's hard because they also offered a very calculatedly different villain. Each one of them was very complementary to what I think they mirrored themselves well. So you've got this in the first story. I mean, just the biggest Predator we've ever seen that I've ever, right?
The Mauler Predator, yeah.
We have never seen a Predator that big that would make regular Predators look like little punk bitches, right?
Well, maybe an AVP. I mean, those guys were a little buffed up.
They were buff, but he was buff and massive.
Yeah.
And
big boy.
Big, not stupid, had some pretty sick weaponry, and clearly had been traveling around and was probably didn't.
He'd been around the block.
Not a lot of.
This guy's been in a few tournaments himself.
Yeah, and I don't think he had a lot of opposition, so he just kind of showed up and was going to mop up, and really he did, except for you know,
Right.
and but that guy versus the also very stealthy and creep around fast, multiple weapons, nutty one that was, in Japan.
The Ninja Yautja was my favorite personally. I loved that guy.
But then we've seen the few shots of Predator, ships doing something, but pretty
Right.
much they're either sitting there, landing, or taking off, and that's about it. You might see the interior of them, here and there.
Right.
But
Which is honestly the one thing that the movie was missing was more. I would have loved to seen some more stuff on background on the Yautja. Like I wanted to see something on another planet on Yautja Prime. I wanted to see more of their upbringing. I want to see like the 300 version of Predator.
I feel like we're gonna get it. I mean, I could be wrong, but again, going back to like what I was saying about how they set themselves up,
Right.
they have now set themselves up to be able to do distance predators that are on planets. I mean, we saw one planet.
In time.
We don't know how many planets. We don't know when in time. We don't know. It's open because their basic mantra is pretty simple, and they're traveling the ends of the universe looking for what is the epitome. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so,
and Big Papa Predator, the guy at the end who seemed to be like unlimited power of everything.
Yeah.
Like what I want to see his story from day one.
How do you get to the top of that heap when everybody's a killer? Like how do you get to the tippy top of Wall Street when everyone's a piece of shit? How do you get to
that's top? What I'm saying. I want to see the 300 story. I want to see him as a child being kicked out and having to survive on his own. You know what I mean? Like that whole background being raised and becoming the whole nine. Like I want to see the history of the Yautja. Give me that. Yeah. But aside from that, this movie was fantastic. I loved every second of it, and I can't wait to see more of it.
Well, it was well loved from what I understand, which the biggest thing we worry about, if we see something amazing that we like, we hope enough people like it, because again, it comes down to, it doesn't matter how good it is, if there's not enough people watching, if there's not enough funding, if there's not enough
pounding on the table
dollars, then things don't get made.
Right.
And they made it, so we want as much as we can get. Easily, if we sat here with a pencil, you and I could come up with 10 films that could pull from themes out of what they opened up.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So
with a smile.
Hopefully we're gonna get as much as we'll take it all. So,
make more.
Yeah.
So yeah, that gets right now. You'll see 5 Little Richards right here. Ding 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 ding. For me, it's 5 out of 5. Like it's a perfect score. Joel, you agree with me on that?
Absolutely, and I think that I could defend it.
Yeah, to the end of time.
Yeah,
like no problem.
No problem.
So there you go, 5 Little Richards. Boom. All right, so now we're going to move on to the next segment of our show, where we're going to watch over a couple of trailers that have come out recently that I thought were awesome and I'm excited about. And Joel hasn't seen them yet.
I haven't even seen them, so can't wait.
So we're going to do that. Now, the first one is Black Phone 2. Joel, did you see the first one?
I did.
And your thoughts?
I mean, I enjoyed it. Sadly, I saw it when it kind of first came out, so some of the details are foggy. So that's why I feel like seeing the trailer for this second one's going to probably remind me like where we were.
Right. Did you like the first one? Do you remember like
I did
enjoying it, being scared, or
it was different?
It was different for Ethan Hawke, that's for sure.
It was different for Ethan Hawke, but I'm sure fun for him to do. I think personally, if I was an actor, being a villain all day is way more fun.
Absolutely. That's why I have bad guy tattoos.
It's just more fun. I mean, honestly, your range is you go loco. You know what I mean? So I'm down to see him do it again. He doesn't just throw himself into projects that I don't think he thinks are good. He doesn't need the money. I think anything he's in because he wants to be.
And he's gotten to the point now where his acting is just amazing.
You can do whatever he wants.
Yeah, so he's set. So let's go ahead and give the trailer a shot and see what we think.
Drop it.
Hello, Finny. Did you think our story was over?
You're dead.
You, of all people, know that dead is just a word.
He's here.
Vengeance is mine.
Now it could be just the guy with the Alice in Chains tattoo in me that may be a little one-sided, but I like it.
I'm like, he grabbed me like pretty quick. Cold weather, no darkness, and then they ain't found a way to kill that song yet.
No, Rooster gonna keep crowing.
So I think it told us enough to know that we're just getting a tidbit of how crazy it'll get. I'm sold.
It looks like from the trailer, the kid from the first one
Mm.
has grown up, and Ethan Hawke is not too happy about that. So
Yeah.
he's gonna do something about it.
Mm.
And it looks already more intense than the first one did. It
Yeah.
looks scarier than the first one did. And yeah, I'm all for it. Like, it just looks better in some ways. The first one was good.
Yeah.
But at times it just came up a little short, I think, of being great.
I mean, my understanding wasn't it. I mean, it was really kind of considered a much smaller budget, though it had Ethan Hawke and it had like good
Right.
people
And it was
working
based
on it.
off of a book and the whole
Yeah.
line, yeah.
It wasn't some major release. It felt like at the time, but it just turned out to be, I think, bigger of a movie
Right.
than they even expected.
And so they doubled the budget and went in for the sequel.
Mhm.
And so it looks like the money well spent. So I'm excited to see it. And yeah, hopefully we'll be able to review it once we see it here.
Yeah.
Now, the next one, look, I'm a huge Stephen King fan.
Mhm.
I've been down with Stephen King. I grew up on Stephen King. I've been reading him since the first book I ever read was the Bachman books, and so, but there is no need for prequels ever. We learned that the Star Wars way. Sometimes it pays off. Sometimes it does. But we've been given. There's a new TV show coming out called Welcome to Derry
Okay.
from It, The Files of It, and it's a prequel on Pennywise. It shows the first time he showed up in that town. The story of Pennywise is that we see him the second time he shows up. And when we're introduced to those kids, the Losers Club as kids, but that's the second time he shows up in Derry.
Mm.
This is going to take place during the first time he shows up in Derry, a time that we haven't had a lot of background on, we haven't seen before. We've just read stories about in the background of the story of what had happened in it. So with that, we're going to go ahead and get into the trailer for the new show, It, Welcome to Derry.
All I did was think hard during all of that.
You poor thing. Get in before you catch your death of cold.
Now you just tell us where home is, and we'll get you back to your parents safe and sound, okay?
Anywhere but Derry.
Things that happened in the past.
My family and I just moved to town.
Oh!
Hey, baby.
Happened in your mind.
Today was 4 months. And they never even found a body. That means murder.
This business with the missing kids. Do I need to be concerned? Never a bad idea to keep the people you love close.
no adult's ever gonna believe what we saw. I wouldn't.
There's a history of stuff like this happening in Derry.
You kids keep your noses out of police business.
I heard voices. In the pipes. Have you ever heard of something like that?
There's something bad here in Derry.
So there you have that. What'd you think of that, Joel?
I mean, visually, I enjoyed it. I mean, I see some potential. I do see some potential. HBO usually is pretty awesome. There's a lot of my favorite shows in history have come out on HBO. I mean, I it is something I'd be interested to watch, but also, I'll be completely honest. Just like when you were saying, when a writer writes a story, and I'm not a writer, you've been writing. I think there is a lot of times when that's why prequels are a problem, because there's information that you only need to put in the story enough to tell your current story, because time goes back and forward. Well, yeah, I guess you could just go back forever or go, forward forever. Right. But usually you kind of have to pick a time where you're going to mostly focus on. And I feel even in the trailer, it kind of looked like, yes, they're saying you're going back to the beginning, but it really wasn't fully the beginning, because it looked like there still was stuff that already had happened. I'm going to still give it a go. If they can really come up with some really good material of things that I was well thought out, I'm on for the ride. I'm a little nervous. I'm a little nervous about, that I'm just not sure what new things they're going to bring to it. Okay, it's still kids. There's still going to be some scary stuff. There's going to be, Pennywise in at least one iteration, right? So, I'll give it a go, but I do have a little bit of skepticism.
I felt like I was watching just it recast.
Yeah.
Now I'm still interested and still excited, but as a writer, when you're writing out a story and you have this image figured out, the story out, you do want to go back and you want to create a history for the characters,
sure,
where they come from, how they, and so some way, somehow, you end up fleshing out the backgrounds of all these people and creating the world in which they live in.
Yeah,
you do create that prequel, but it's not essentially a prequel. It's like the Silmarillion, with J.R.R. Tolkien. It's like the Hobbit was for him. He was just telling a story about Middle Earth so that you knew what was going on in Middle Earth, so that Lord of the Rings made more sense for you.
Because it was such an expansive story.
Right.
Having a companion makes sense.
Right. And so I understand that part. However, Stephen King didn't write this.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you next. Like, now, if he didn't write it, which I didn't think he did, and I didn't feel like it came from any specific source books that he wrote, but
right. And
does he still have to give his okay though, right? For
not,
these things?
Not really anymore. He goes into a contract now with the companies, like the streaming services, HBO Max, Netflix, whoever, or he'll go into contract with a certain writer like Mike Flanagan. He has a contract with Mike Flanagan where Mike Flanagan will write most of his movies, like Life of Chuck that's coming out. A couple of the other movies he did with Netflix. He had a 7-film deal with Netflix, and he managed to incorporate some of Stephen King's movies into there. So it's just it's
going to have to be the marriage between Stephen King and people that he doesn't mind continuing his stories, because at the end of the day, it still comes kind of back to him, because they're still using the name. Right. So maybe I'm going to just go ahead and say I hope that he read whatever they were going to write and said, I love it, do it. I'm gonna go ahead and pretend that's what's going on until I know otherwise. So
hopefully it turns out good.
Do you have any idea of who they cast as Pennywise?
I believe they got Skarsgård back.
Okay, because I kind of feel like another change up.
Yeah, another change in the I'm a little done with that.
Initially, it was even hard for me to handle the initial change up.
But when they did
you know?
the Dairy Show on Netflix a while back, and they got Peter Skarsgård to star in there
Yeah.
as well. I thought that was great. I thought that was
Yeah.
good job keeping the character, well, at least the actor, in the Stephen King world, so they can, because Stephen King likes to dabble. Hey, look, here's Alan Pangborn, but the story isn't about the Alan Pangborn. He just happens to be a character in the story.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He involves major characters from other stories as side characters in current stories.
Yeah.
So to see that he did that with them during that filming was great. Hopefully he does the same thing here.
Yeah.
Or he had the option to do the same thing here. So we'll see how this goes.
Yeah.
Either way, I'm excited. I'm excited for Life of Chuck, which is coming out this year. I haven't read that book, but
I haven't read it.
it looks like a beautiful movie. And it's Stephen King, so something fucked up's got to happen to it.
Yeah.
Even Shawshank was a beautiful movie, but somebody had to die. Yeah.
It was a beautiful movie. There's a lot of pain.
Right.
A lot of pain.
Green Mile. I mean, hello. Okay, so
Yeah.
this one is something that we've all been waiting for.
Mhm.
I know I've been prancing or biting my nails for in anticipation. This is Guillermo del Toro's version of Frankenstein.
Which I kind of feel like that story is just meant for. I mean, he's the guy.
So, well, let's find out, shall we?
I had determined that the memory of my evils should die with me. Some of what I will tell you is fact. Some is not. But it is all true. What manner of creature is that? What manner of devil made him? I did. I had a vision. An idea took shape in my mind. Inevitable. Unavoidable. Until it became truth. In seeking life, I created death.
Jesus Christ, this is annoying. Sorry about that, guys. I had a ton of alerts come up. What did you think?
Okay, so little side situation. I recently went to a Mary Shelley museum. It was a 4-story small museum. Small. It was weird, 4 stories, but they really used a lot of space. They used the space well. So I got to do kind of a walkthrough on history on her.
Mm-hmm.
Mary Shelley, and she had a terrible life. I mean,
Right.
you guys are gonna have to read into it yourself, but I mean, the book is probably just as equally horrific as kind of what went on with her. But it had a lot of imagery that I feel like I had wanted to see in a Frankenstein movie. There's a lot more to the story, than I've seen in a lot of the renditions that were done. Certainly, Universal, don't get me wrong, I love a lot of the amazing things that visually that were done there, but virtually none of the story was told in any of those.
Right.
And then we moved up through history. A lot of people have done this, but like we were saying, people who are going to get their hands on it, I just feel like that's probably a project that this guy has wanted to do for years, and maybe he finally got it.
Yeah. If there's one guy that can handle monsters, it's Guillermo. I mean,
Yeah.
He just got. I mean, news was just announced that he got Hellboy 3 back, and he got Ron back. So he's gonna be putting that out. So I'm sure there's lots of excitement for that. And if you haven't heard about that, well, surprise!
I just found out right now when you told me,
I know. I saw the table move.
which is a big deal because Ron was a big supporter and wanted it.
Right.
He wasn't just an actor in it. It was he wanted it bad, just as bad. He was hoping, and it almost didn't happen.
Right.
So
the fact that it's in paper, it's happening now. Let's hope everybody's health and deportation status.
oh yeah, yeah,
You know.
no,
And yeah. So hopefully we'll see that soon. But this film it looks beautiful. It feels like Johnny Depp should be in there somewhere.
You know what?
I'm glad that he's not.
Yeah, but you're right. He just would fit. Maybe he'll just end up being a drunk dude in some messed up tavern somewhere.
Had Johnny Depp written all over it.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure Johnny Depp, wherever he's at, he's thinking, man, I really should have been in that.
No, he's probably like, was I in that?
Yeah.
All right. Where's my check?
And then someone just tells you, you were, bro.
Yes.
You were. It kind of did blow me away, because here's the thing. One thing I do need, and as much as I love everything about it that I saw, and I'm super excited, what I'm hoping for and what I could get in the trailers, I feel like what's important to me is in that story, the tug of war between who you really think is a monster and what a monster is,
and who you think the story is about.
Yeah. And so if that's not told, I will still actually blatantly say trash to even my favorite director or writer, because in this particular case, that is to me the focal theme of it. So, but I'm not worried about it at all. I mean, I can tell just from the trailer that we're going to get to see the real components of the story that I think are the most important. Plus, visually, I mean, come on,
right?
I think it's well cast. I think we just saw the tippy tip.
And I'm okay with that. Like, if I don't see any more images from the film, I've already seen what Frankenstein looks like. I don't need to see any more images from the film.
Yeah.
That was against Christian Bale, by the way. And he looks great.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So they purposely didn't put it in there. Like,
oh man,
spoiler.
That's amazing. And then I mean, because the original description of the creature is very limited in the book. I mean, don't quote me on this, but I don't think it was more than a couple lines here and there to describe his actual specific physical presentation. So I think that's why it kind of gave people to do some different license, but there is some certain things about him. But I mean, I'm stoked. I'm super stoked. And now, also just seeing some of the other people that are going to be in here that we didn't really even get to see much time of them in the trailer at all. There's people in that lineup right now that I just saw that didn't even get to see him in the trailer.
Yeah, and I was wrong. I'm sorry. It's Jacob Elordi as the monster. So
okay,
I'm excited for that. But Oscar Isaac, David Bradley, Christopher Waltz,
dude, yeah,
Mia Goth, yeah.
Dude, David Bradley, really, I mean, this guy shows up. I mean, the fact that he's playing the blind man, oh, man. I will tell you, though, my favorite blind man is Gene Hackman. But,
right.
That's if you want to say of my favorite, up to this point, my favorite iterations of that whole story, it's going to be Young Frankenstein.
Which I'm going to go see this summer. My friend's in the play.
Oh, sweet.
So we're going to go see it.
Oh, right on. I mean,
and that friend is Janelle here on Forbidden Panel. So if you're in the Redlands area go see her at Young Frankenstein
Okay, I'm all about it.
over at RTF. So anyway, moving on.
Cool.
Yeah, so yeah, I'm all excited for the movie. It looks really beautiful. It looks awesome. The cast looks phenomenal. And it's Del Toro. I have yet to come across a Del Toro movie I didn't like.
Me neither. Love them all.
Even Meet the Feebles had its. Well, no, that's not. Is that Del Toro? No, that is Jackson.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, there hasn't been a Del Toro movie that I haven't liked. I mean, I was taken aback by the amount of nudity in Shape of Water, but okay.
But again, super well cast. The
Yeah, that
visualness
movie
of
was
it.
beautiful.
I mean, I heard a lot of gripes from a lot of people, and I said, "Hey, I totally understand what you're saying, but I
But
loved
they're
it.
stupid.
I loved it. I thought that everybody did an amazing job of acting in that film, and you just saw a believable story unfold in front of you, which was believable, even though it shouldn't be. But I mean, he always gives us a certain level of realism, even when what we're watching we know
Right.
is fantasy.
It's gonna be an art piece.
He's going to take us
Even
there.
in Hellboy 2, the ending was beautiful, and the monster explodes, and all. Oh my goodness!
Yeah, and I understand there was there's a lot of talk and divergence of where he took the story versus
The comic,
and what Mike did there, and they don't always agree on some stuff. But you know what?
the movie was still great.
Still great, and I'll take as much as I can get. I'll say with any of the things that we like, just give us more. I mean, is it all of these going to be a 10 out of 10 for us? Maybe, maybe not, but just give more. Give more.
Absolutely. And with that, we say goodbye to the PanelCast part of the broadcast, and hello to the side panel part of the podcast. Look at this little goober. You can't tell he was hitting the pipe beforehand, can you guys? Nor can you tell what pipe he was hitting.
It was just a lead pipe. I just
It
hit
was
my
just
ding,
he just got donged himself
ding,
on the head.
ding.
So with that, we're going to be unboxing. What are we unboxing this week, Joel?
I think we have some pretty sweet goodies that don't come in really big boxes, but I think there's a lot going on in these boxes.
This is mine. This is Lucky Cat's version of Freddy King that I will be unboxing.
Mm-hmm.
And you have?
I have the Universal Monsters combo with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I have been waiting to open this Leonardo, who is Igor, since it first came out, and I actually saw pre-production pictures of it. I couldn't wait. This is a momentous occasion for me. AJ's been really also forcing himself not to open that as well until we could do it together.
They both have windows. Okay, Ave Maria.
I was doing the best I could.
So that's what we're unboxing today, and we're going to start with we'll start with mine because I want to see Joel suffer some more. No, I'm kidding.
Oh no, either way, I think they're both
Joel,
awesome.
you need to unbox yours, sir. Go ahead and unwrap your excitement.
Okay, also, just so you guys know, I am stoked to open this, but see, what the cool things about doing this unboxing with AJ is that doing it together, we both get to open more toys. Okay, we combined our financial power and got more toys. Okay, so all right, let's see. You got something? You got a knife for me, buddy?
Isn't there one over there?
Bam.
I have a baby X.
All right, I'm gonna come from the top here.
Okay. While you're doing that, I'm gonna set up the POV cam so that we can get closer images of it.
Okay. All right. Well, so far, not too difficult to get into the box. So this is, like I said, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Universal Monsters NECA line. There's there was a whole lot of people involved there, and Nickelodeon. Don't be shocked if you also had a 2% stake in it. That's a lot of names on the box. I'm going to set this box aside real quick.
Now, where did you get this? You got this from? I thought you brought it overseas, or
actually no. This I chose to purchase from Big Bad, which if I'll throw a name, I love supporting those people. It's it's a family spot, Big Bad Toys. Anyway, they had a sweet deal on it. I had wanted it for quite a while, and it was finally the right price when I nabbed it. I stuck it in what they call their pile of loot, and I let it sit there for a minute so I can get some cheap, almost free shipping because I'm cheap like that, so I can buy more crap. But patience, Patience is the key on this. I'll say right off the bat, it's hard to kind of see right there, but there is a level of diorama to the box. There is like some fog. I think you could stick the figure just in there and it would actually have some cool presentation. I'm going to slap that right there. And actually get out of the way for a second. Okay, you guys, I'm going to work on trying to get him out of here. One of the main reasons I couldn't wait to get this figure is that I am a sucker for any figure that has stuff that goes inside places, panels, lifting things. If you guys remember, there was vintage turtles where you could open their shell and you could put a ton of gear back there. It was one of my favorite Ninja Turtles that came out. It was just epic that you could put a bunch of stuff in there. But they really combined a really cool. Oops, sorry, buddy.
How are you touching me?
Oh, man, it's emotional. Okay, let me see if I can get this cut off.
Touching, watch out.
Get this cut off without causing any problems.
I'm complaining to HR.
You can find them.
Oh, there's little Mauler spikes on the bottom.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
okay,
awesome.
bro. I will say, let's really
You
try
need
to.
snips?
Maybe, buddy. It's pretty tight in there.
That's not what you said.
Yeah. There is some tape here on the sides I can get while you're grabbing that. All right, yeah. So it's in there pretty good, you guys, as far as packing. I think if this was shipped to you, the box itself is gonna, the way this figure's in there, not going anywhere.
Now, if you can, I'm going to open up the secondary camera so I can get closer on these accessories that are coming in, so we don't have to keep going like this. So we are going to switch to a split screen right now.
Okay.
And there we go. So as you can see in the secondary screen, what I was talking about. You can see the little spikes in the handle there. We can hear how loud Joel's being on the.
Dude, this figure, this thing is in here. Whew, okay.
And it's like that on both of them. And both swords are just beautiful. Nice curve for you.
Yeah, if you're mailing this, don't worry. It's not going to go anywhere in the box at all. In fact,
Ever.
It's like semi-child proof if like the kid doesn't know how to use a shank. So I'm going to go ahead and get everything out of this bit.
As you can tell, it comes with more loud noise control. Has a shovel, 2 different shovels with it. Looks like 3 different pairs of hands. And it comes with its own boner with flame effects. So those are looking really good.
Oh man, there is some. Yeah, I'm already super stoked here. If you can get in there, we got a brain and some really sweet artsy tech going on there.
That's just awesome.
Whew, you guys. Okay, so as far as waiting and thinking this wasn't absolutely worth it, the sculpt on this thing, the detail, is beautiful. The textures, they really just put some love into that. There's bugs crawling on him. The look on his face. Oh man, yeah, try to get up in there. Yeah.
Like the elongated neck.
Yeah. They really got that hunch in there that he should have. Because obviously it's Leonardo, but you really need to get the textures of Igor. And look at that big old hinge. And he is just, there's holes that actually go through. You could stick some weapons in there if you wanted. Also too, real quick on the ankle here, if you notice, there is actually a separate chain.
And it actually dangles.
It actually dangles. coming around. So I see that there's a lock here.
Comes with his own ball and chain, everybody.
You know, okay. Whew. I'm glad I didn't tug on that. So this giant lock is awesome, but don't worry, you don't have to pull it off. Just move this arm forward a little bit, open this hinge, and then bam. Yeah, grab that. Look in there.
Look at that. That's awesome. A little spider in a shell.
Yep. And now you got some wood shelves.
The light.
Oh yeah.
There you go. You can do this. We got all the space inside.
And it really is. It's the wood texture is nice. It looks like
It
real
looks like a wood
shelves.
barrel. Yeah. Like he's wearing an old whiskey barrel on his back.
Yeah. So we're gonna go ahead and see how this stuff fits in there. AG, I'm gonna mess with this for a second if you want to pop that open and see what kind of goodies we can cram in there.
I'll pop this up in here. All right, these are all flame effects.
Okay, I've already got the brain, which again, super awesome detail. The top of the container for the brain actually pops off. I'm pretty sure you can pull the brain off the peg.
Yeah, you switch it for this.
You can throw a skull in there. Oh man. All right, I'm gonna get down putting some stuff in here. This is just too much fun. What else we got? Oh man.
Here are those. I got everything out. Here's what they look like. Really insane on the detail. They did a great job with it. That is a knot in the table, but it looks cool. Awesome. Joel give himself some head.
Hey, got those ribs removed. Okay. So let's see if we can get all the goodies in here. I think we're going to be able to. And then I'm guessing that the holes in the shell line up.
Excuse me, sir.
So that you can throw these super wicked swords, these katanas. Yep. Okay. All right. Well, it's saying we're going to do it. So I'm going to go through here. I'm actually going to be smart and
Do them first.
do them first before I put the other things in there. All right. Yeah. Perfect. This is also notched, you guys, so that the blades are going to absolutely go the right direction. So that you have them, even the sharp end of the katana, go in the right direction. And sure enough, there you go. Everything goes in there nice. The fact that the katanas, I mean, they really are like perfectly sculpted on those holes. All right, let's close this up. Yeah, okay. There we go. And everything's in there. Minus, we got some what? I'm not sure where the flames are going to go on the swords, maybe. Yep, go on the swords. Yep.
The end of the swords.
There you go. I'll be honest with you guys. This I've opened some cool stuff lately, but I just love this. This is just wicked.
Those hands can't hold the sword.
Let's go ahead and pop on the right hand. So let's test some joints. Okay, that popped out pretty easily, but was sturdy.
We've been testing joints all day.
All day. Let's see. So let me find the right hand here. There we go. So it's nice. NECA used what seems to be like, I like this type of quality rubber plasticky situation. It's a softer I think it's closer to me to a rubber than it is just a straight plastic. But I didn't have, it felt easy to get the weapon in the hand. Okay.
Spit on it.
Ooh. So
Apparently they rotate.
yeah, they definitely rotate. But I'm gonna go ahead and get that in there, you guys. This, you know, not only just like I said, being Leonardo, you know, just he's every inch of Igor. Like, yeah. Those will kind of fall over, but I think he's absolutely loaded. If you like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and you like monsters, especially, you know, you got to have one of these. All of them look pretty cool. I only have a couple. Been pretty happy with all of them, but I have to say this one takes the cake.
Yeah, it looks really awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks like pieces of the shell would pop off.
Yeah. It these days it's getting hard for me to tell anymore if they're doing any practical sculpts or if it's all just
3D
digital.
printing, yeah.
You know, I don't know how they're doing the actual sculpts anymore, but this feels sculpted. I feel like there's a giant, you know, original cast piece somewhere. The hands, the extra hands are great. The texture on him, the camera can't even fully get it, but just so you know, like every inch of this figure has texture. It actually, considering he's, you know, Igor, he actually has full good posability, in my opinion. I can go wide with these arms. Yep. There's elbow. He's a hunchback, so he can do.
Not Igor.
A hunchback.
Hunchback.
He's the hunchback.
Notre Dame, not Igor. You keep calling him Igor.
I keep thinking it's Igor, but he does have he's got the brain and yeah, I guess you're right. I'm gonna have to take it all back. Sorry, guys. Yeah, he's the hunchback, but he's got a whole lot of Igor themes going on to me. Mainly with the brain. Brain and carrying torches. But you know, that's also anyway.
I didn't name them.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right.
I didn't
Totally.
name them. I'm just telling you.
Yeah, I can't believe I passed that up. But to me, this character is super Igor. You can call him the Hunchback. You get both for it.
I just don't want to get sued.
Yeah, no, right. But I think you'll get a bit of all of those if you're looking for it. 100% worth the money. Yeah, I got no complaints. Sadly, I think the camera just even can't show you how well they put this together. There's lots of paint application that is kind of hard to see, down to the toenails. Anything that's metal has what looks like could be a little dry brushing to it. They really just did put a lot of detail.
He's going to show up on the next episode of Game of Thrones with that flaming sword there.
Whew. Yeah, and that face, man, if you can really get in.
The big stitch going down the middle.
Yeah.
Well, very nice.
And, you know, and one eye is totally looking, they're not looking the same direction.
He's stoned.
He's got
a sleepy eye.
Yeah, the Foot Clan are just gonna leave him alone. They're just like, no, just let him chill. Anyway, on the side of the box, real quick, they do show you some of the other characters that you can choose from it. They've done a all black and white version. They come in like a big pack. That looks really awesome. Kind of pricey, but if you want them all in black and white, they've got pretty much everybody at this point, of the main cast of characters. This was very smart for them to do. They're going to nail a bunch of fans from all these genres together. But me personally, I got everything I wanted with this one. Really did.
Awesome.
All right.
Time for my turn. Ooh, this is Lucky Cat's version of Pretty King. Yeah. I crack this baby open. I already love the box. The box is
Yeah,
very
show them some of the
got
box
that
action.
exciting box art, that they're known for. It's very cool. I like it. And then
Did you
again,
really
with
show them
the
that front picture? Did they really get a good look at that front picture?
preview, yeah, I already showed it, Joel.
I know, but really give it to them.
It's the Last Supper.
How cool is that? And I'm telling you, the guys, the detail on this is extra fabulous.
Preview window.
Yeah, beautiful.
You can see the way the holographics are reflecting off of it.
I'm still a good sucker for a good box.
Let's go ahead.
Okay. There's a whole lot of transformation and robot going on in here.
Cool. Oh my God, they're freaking adorable.
Oh man.
Pull that box out. For you.
Do that for you too. There's already a slew of goodies going on in here. There's AJ, there's a keychain, holographic cards. Yeah, look at that.
No, take the camera.
Oh, okay.
There you go. So I can keep unboxing. You can take the
man.
camera and run things.
So they really gave extra goodies. You can also see the front cover art of the box is also in its full glory. Lots of things to see there. They're slick enough to show you some stuff without full on, saying it. I can't wait to see what other goodies are in here. Like I said, the keychain, and appears I think the keychain may also do some additional things. Based on what I'm seeing right here, it looks like that keychain does something. Flip it over. So already seen a lot of the instructions that AJ gets with a lot of these different companies that make these transformers. Some of the instructions kind of make me sad, but I like these right off the bat. I'm kind of enjoying the very clear color change. Spatially, I think it's going to be pretty helpful the way that they did it. So I'm going to show you some of the goodies that are in here that are not the actual. So everybody came in robot form, like you saw. So there is a nasty big chopper there. Ooh, ouchie. Ouchie. All right, AJ. Then pulling in there real quick. So it looks like we have a head and what I think could be, we got hands, maybe shoulders. We've got guns, got potentially, I believe it could be some feet. And then let's see what you got there. It looks like a wicked wings.
Backpack.
Backpack.
That are all attached to. This all goes when it's Predaking.
Yeah. But doing a quick zoom in on these guys.
Look at their faces. Their faces are adorable. Hi.
I mean, this is a side of fun to the ultra serious and super complicated, just totally serious Transformers. This is, I think, still going to
adorable.
It's adorable, but also really, really nice looking. Details are nice. Beautiful use of color. Now, AJ, you've gotten other things from this company, so quality feeling the same?
Everything I get seems to increase in coolness. Like every time I get something from them, it just goes up.
But so plastics are good. I think
Plastics are good. Everything seems good. I have yet to get to transform any of them yet. So as far as like any of the other companies' figures, but once I do, I'll let you know. But right now they feel like solid. They're good, solid plastic pieces.
yeah, those faces are extra fun.
He's a snarly bastard.
I'll be honest with you, this is the first one of I think some of the different brands that you showed me that I didn't know about. That I think that regular never mess with Transformer people or even kids of an even you know, of even a reasonably young age might actually really get to play with this and enjoy it. A lot of the stuff AJ has, I'm sorry, if it's not a grown up who also knows how to take care of their stuff, it'd be a nightmare. So this I think is super cool and I think approachable for a wider range of age. Honestly, if you just did this all in variations of purple and pink, I totally think, you know, a whole nother genre of people would totally bite because they're fun.
Totally anime.
Yeah.
He's just a big angry lion. Look at him. Arr, arr. So this has got to be, I think, maybe the third or fifth version of Predaking I have now. Because, you know, I just don't have enough Predakings in my life.
Yeah, but I totally see why you had to add this one.
Right? It's cool,
Yeah.
huh?
Yeah.
I mean, it may look like way below my age range, but this thing so far, like I'm feeling it, it's pretty solid. It looks like it's about 5 steps above what you would get in a bubble, you know, those little corn
Oh
bubble
yeah.
machines.
No, this is nicely done. There isn't separation areas from, you know, molds.
Nope.
I don't really see this any seam lines are very minimal.
There's no stress marks, there's no breaks, there's nothing.
No, it's
And already this one figure feels better quality than anything I've felt out of Hasbro recently.
dude, even his mouth, his little mouth, his little tiny mouth opens. Okay, little tiny mouth. Yep.
Yeah, so does the lanes.
Yeah, I don't care. I don't care what anybody says. This is a really nice mixture of good fun.
I have a feeling Joel's gonna have these in his pockets when he leaves tonight.
I'm getting searched.
I
Damn.
don't have a metal detector here. I have a plastic detector.
Yeah. Called hands. But anyway, I mean, on other shows when we've definitely done, like I said, AJ's realm, he knows and has so much experience with toys that transform
His mouth open.
so many different companies. And I haven't really been disappointed by anything these opened, but it's good because you're getting like an even more non-biased opinion because I am kind of an idiot to all the different options, especially in the third-party world. But everything you've ever shown me has been given, you know, the major producer a serious run for their money, especially at how prices, you know, continue to go up on major release, you know, Transformers.
It's unfortunate though that these we won't be able to get access to a lot of overseas products anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, they'll still be there. It's just shipping will be ridiculous.
Yeah.
For a while at least. But once they do calm down, everything gets going. I'm loving the third party world so far. You have to experience it and not experience it. I'm sorry. You have to do trial and error with it in order to figure out which companies are good, which are just making crap, what have you. But a lot of times I've come across maybe 1% of the bad ones. 1% of the ones I've come across are bad. Everything else I've come across is high quality that I love. And Joel can attest. Everything I've got up here is.
And even though they're even the ones where they're doing characters that already existed, they're
their versions are a lot better.
They're still giving amazing homage to the actual character, but boosting in a lot of cases the complexity, the posability, the art factor. It's well, if you guys have watched previous episodes, you've seen some of the epic pieces that we didn't even have a chance to transform because they were so amazing and epic and complex.
Unfortunately, this will be the same thing because I'm not taking the time to put this together right now.
We can return to that, but I'm confident that based on what these guys look like and how well they're put together, even in just their smaller robot forms, my premonition is that I think put together, it's going to hold well. I think the pieces are going to fit together properly, like they were meant to always go together.
And they're going to cut a bitch.
Oh yeah, yeah. So, I think
I would have laughed if your hand fell off.
Oh my god, if it just fell off right now, blood just shot. Yeah.
We're like, and we're done with this episode.
I feel like AJ, you're going to keep shooting until EMS gets here because this is amazing, and we're not going to do this again. Mainly because if this hand goes back on, I'm not redoing it.
Look how good the blood looks on Leonardo right now.
Unless they can give me a sweet magnet option where I can still just, you know what I mean? But these, I am, like I said, not being, having a lot of history with these. I am very impressed.
Have I changed your mind yet?
I mean, trust me, I want them, but that's going to be job number whatever. You know what I mean?
Right.
But for you guys who are into Transformers, I'm not saying don't keep buying them. There's still tons of Transformer releases I think are amazing and awesome, and I still do buy some. But I'm not asking you to stop doing anything. I just want you to open your mind to some of this third-party stuff, especially things that AJ is showing you. He buys these because he loves them, and they're worth the praise we give them. And
I'll give you my honest opinion every single time. If it's crap, it's crap. If it's good, it's good. I do my best. I'll do my best to bring you good products, but I'll do my best to bring you bad ones too. And
I'll be honest with you, lucky we've been pretty lucky.
I've been pretty lucky on the ones that I've been getting.
We haven't come across a full clunker yet of anything that we reviewed, and I know you were doing it before I showed up, but like you said, I mean, 1%. Come on, Yeah, no, this is good stuff. I'm looking forward to seeing it in
Predaking form.
Predaking form. Again, out of a lot of them too, I really I can't stop saying enough about how these, I think the sturdiness and the way they are, again, I think really could go to a much wider range of even kids. Like I said, some of the ones we reviewed, even if you could get it for your kid, it takes an adult hours to get through the instructions to do, but this is really approachable. Until you actually put it together, I feel like this is something you could buy for somebody, even as an intro. Like if they said it was really cool, but you didn't want to throw, it's like somebody that just started playing board games and you're like, dude, we'll do Risk for the first game you ever play. Okay. So, yeah, I think I'll shut up about that, but lots of fun.
All right, guys. That wraps up our episode for today.
Just gonna throw him in here. All of his goodies are pretty much in his back, but he's still just gonna hang out with them. Yeah, we had another successful choice of stuff to open. I hope this helps you guys. If you're looking at either of these products or you've never seen them before and now you know a little bit more, I'm happy with the money I spent. AJ, you happy with the money you spent?
Yeah, I want more money.
Yeah, definitely. Hats off to the people out there who are making this stuff, who are actually really doing the work, the art of it. It's seeing somebody's dream come true when they get to work on a project and make stuff like this for us to play with. So,
absolutely. So, thanks again for Joel for joining me in this episode.
Absolutely.
Expect some changes coming to Forbidden Panel soon. We're going to have a lot more stuff, a lot more cool options and advantages and different stuff for you guys to be checking out.
Mm-hmm.
So thanks everybody for tuning in, and we'll catch you on the next episode.
Later, you guys.
How you doing, folks? Richard from Chaos Collectibles here. showing you some of the wrestling figures we have to offer, just a minute section of it. We offer pretty much everything, vintage to modern toys, DC, Marvel, Power Rangers, G.I. Joe. Anything that we have in stock or have the ability to get for you, if you're looking for it, you can reach out to us on any form of social media. If we don't have it in stock or have the ability to get to it, I can usually find someone that can lead you in the right direction. You can also follow us on our podcast at KS Customs on YouTube and Spotify. We'll teach you how to make custom action figures of your own, how to paint and assemble different figures. So anything you're looking for. Also, we offer video games, video game console, as well as some console repairs. So if you want to reach out to us, you can reach us through any form of social media. That's KS Collectibles. Collectibles also spelled with a K. I'd like to thank AJ from Forbidden Panel. Follow forbiddenpanel.com. I happen to appear on their website all the time and their PanelCast. So join us for all the fun coming from them too. Appreciate you guys.